Something that has always stuck with me about how to cultivate community is a lesson I learned from a podcast by Jocko Willink. If you've never heard of him, go look up his Extreme Ownership TED Talk on YouTube with 8.7 million views. Jocko was a high-ranking leader in the Navy SEAL teams during the Iraq War. He developed and led teams which endured some of the most devastating aspects of life on Earth. During one of his podcasts, he talked about how the teams he led were able to cultivate a community that fought and won in war. What stood out to me was how each member of the team considered their life as lost by going to war. So, instead of training to survive war for selfish motives, each member trained hard at being as fast, strong, and smart as possible so their teammates could make it home. Imagine going into war knowing that the person on the left and right of you is prepared and ready to make sure you make it out alive. And then you have the same attitude, to be as ready and prepared as possible to make sure they make it home too. They laid down their lives so their friends could survive and thrive. This is all very brave and impressive, but haven't we heard something like this way before Jocko and the Navy SEALs? Here's what Jesus has to say. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. John 15:13. We can cultivate this kind of community for each other because Jesus has already done the heaviest lifting. He laid his life down for us so we can have everything we need to feel and live loved and approved. Because of Jesus, our value has appreciated from broken sinner to cherished child of God. Jesus modeled this selfless love for us, and his grace empowers us to lay down our lives for our friends. So what does this look like? Instead of asking, what's in it for me, we look at community wondering, how can I serve? Who needs my help? Instead of thinking, I don't have what it takes to add value, I'm not smart or rich enough, we take the focus off ourselves and look to Jesus, who says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 2:9. Here's a good example. Last month, before my appendix ruptured, I had planned on doing yard work after men's breakfast because it was way overgrown. Instead, I went to the hospital for surgery that weekend. This meant I was unable to cut the grass for a while. Because I'm in a great community that works hard to cultivate love, people offered to cut the grass for me. So, while I recovered from surgery, Scott Farina spent all Saturday morning tackling the overgrown grass. He was red in the face and soaked in sweat, but he got it done. Not only was this helpful for me, it also blessed our community group that meets on Thursdays, giving the kids a clean area to play in, and for the post-group volleyball session we had out front. Instead of just showing up in community asking, what's in it for me, Scott rolled up his sleeves and helped his community. He showed that he was a Jesus follower by loving the people God put around him. And that's just one of many stories from our church community on laying down our lives and loving each other like Jesus loves us. How have you seen others cultivate community like this? I have my stories, but how have you seen this play out in your experience? Share it below. How cool would it be to flood this chat thread with stories that celebrate the community we're a part of? Share something. John 13:34 through 35. A new command I give you: love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. John 15:12 through 14. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. Philippians 2:3 through 4. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of others.